listening to Her Profit Era, the podcast for founders who want a business that actually works, a business that's profitable, predictable, and pays them well. I am Cindy Kumar, a CPA, a fractional CFO from Abbotsford, BC, Canada. I'm the person founders call when they're tired of high revenue months with no money left over. I started this podcast because too many founders were chasing sales while their margins, cash flow, and bank accounts told a completely different story. I believe profit and money in the bank is the standard, not a bonus, and that every founder deserves clarity around their numbers. Each week, you'll get real financial strategy you can actually use and honest conversations with founders and industry experts about what it really takes to build a business that lasts. Today, I'm joined by Michelle Tran, the founder of Meraki Beauty Bar. Michelle built her business from the ground up and has grown it into a full team and education-based brand in the beauty space. She's also been very open recently about her decision not to have kids, which has sparked a bigger conversation around life choices, timing, and what it looks like to build a life based on your own priorities. In this conversation, we talk about that decision, how she came to it, what influenced it, and what it looks like to question expectations that are often assumed rather than chosen. We also get into identity, autonomy, and making decisions without defaulting to pressure or timelines. So let's get into the conversation. Hi, Michelle. Thanks so much for joining me on Her Profit Era.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. We had last connected, I think it was like 3 years ago at like a beauty event. And then just
Yeah.
recently, like your reel popped off about being able to like enjoy your life, but also wondering like if you should have kids right now.
Oh my gosh, that is the literally talk of the town, especially people my age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that way as well?
Yeah, I
Do you
just turned 35 in March and it's just like everyone's asking like kids, business, what's going on?
Well, happy belated birthday. And yeah, I totally feel what you feel.
Thank you. So what has your journey been like? Because I know you started working at a young age too.
Yeah. So I started working when I was 7, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, isn't that child labor?"
Yeah,
No, I was helping my dad out. He had his ice cream business. It was called Jogan Fruits. I'm sure you've heard of it.
yeah.
It was open in the old Brentwood Mall, and I was just helping him out. And I remember I was so young back then, and I was so short that when I was like scooping ice cream and stuff, I couldn't even reach the bin.
Yeah.
So he had to put pineapple cans on the floor so I could stand up
Oh,
higher.
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. I started really young, and I think I really after that post, I really thought about, what made me not really want to have kids. And in my opinion, I can only speak for myself. I
Yeah.
think the only reason why I find that I don't really want to have kids is because as an older daughter of an immigrant family, I find that I have a lot of responsibilities.
Right.
They're not like, you know, blackmailing me and saying like, this is what you got to do. But, everybody, when you are in part of the family, you just feel like you're entitled and you're responsible for a specific task. And I do find as an older sibling and an older daughter, uh, that's what I'm meant to do is to make sure that, I take care of everything. And, obviously it's not my responsibility, but,
Yeah.
I do feel, are you an older sibling as well?
Yeah, I'm the oldest daughter.
Oh my gosh, see?
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of clients and a lot of my boss babes, like they're like so independent, so strong, they make their own money and they're just like so on top of it. They're usually the older sibling, don't you find?
That's so true now that I'm thinking about
Yeah, and they don't want kids.
it.
Well, they're like moving it later in life for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel a lot of women in their 30s are like at this point now, whereas I feel like our parents' generation, it was like they got married, they like my mom had me at like 20, and it's like it was just total like different lifestyle back then.
Oh yeah, definitely my mom. It's weird because my mom had me late. She had me at 39, and then I have a
Oh
younger
wow.
sister. She had my younger sister at like almost 41.
Yeah.
So she had me quite late. After a lot of like Q&As and videos on my Instagram page, I started realizing we were mistakes. She didn't even think she was gonna have kids, and she married very late because she didn't think she was going to find anyone.
Oh wow.
So it's crazy to think that, especially in that generation, she had them so late that it was very, very late. So, yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And did you always feel like you didn't want kids, or was there something that happened in your life or like a turning point?
That's a very good question. So when I was, I'd say 19, I specifically remember saying, I'm gonna have kids when I'm 23. I have
Yeah.
a whole like schedule. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get married at 21 and then have kids at 23, enjoy my life for a year.
Yeah.
All went out the window because I started realizing like that's not who I was. I really went through a journey of finding myself in my 20s. I wouldn't say I'm completely I think I will continuously try to find myself as I get older, even to till death.
Yeah.
I think there will be versions, multiple versions of me. But I really figured out my voice in my 20s. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was just more so like I had multiple jobs lined up. I worked a lot. I worked a lot. I had like two, three jobs at a point. And then it was never the right time. It never feels like the right time. And I always ask this question to my moms, my clients.
Yeah.
They're like, "It's never going to be ready. It's never the right time."
Yeah.
So I am coming to peace with that. So one day, if you find out I'm pregnant, there you go. There's your answer. But at this moment, um, I'm just really trying to balance it all. And I think that's a lot of what women silently suffer is that they are trying to balance everything, their career, their feminism, their soft girl era, um, at the same time, what motherhood would be like just so many plates on their so many stuff on their plate. And I completely agree with why that video that I posted resonated with so many people.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a lot different for women compared to men because I feel like men can still work, they can still do everything they were doing before.
I agree. I think what I found with my partner is that men have a different set of problems and responsibilities that they are going through. One being they need to make sure they provide for the family. It's very old school mentality, but
Yeah,
in my mind, I do feel like in a way it's embedded in their DNA, in their genes, where they're just like, I need to make sure the hunter, right? I'm the gatherer,
right.
they're the hunter. So they need to make sure that they financially are stable before they even think about having children, as I would hope, because that's the responsible way.
Yeah,
And at the same time, I don't really want to think it's easier for men. Men have a different set of problems navigating through emotional connection, what that's like, because men don't really know how to even verbally speak about how they feel, right?
so true.
Emotional maturity. So I do find they have a different set of problems for sure.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we were like sold this like image like from like romantic movies and like just hearing it from like friends and family like getting married, having like a big wedding, getting the dress, having the kids. It's like this image was like sold to us. But I feel like
Yeah.
now that social media, there's so much on social media
Yeah.
now that people are openly talking about like I'm not having kids or I'm waiting
Yeah.
until I'm older.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. And that's a very, very great point you made, Cindy. I do find that back in the day when we were growing up, it was a different society altogether.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we were sold to, the whole fairy tale, like have our Prince Charming sweep us off our feet. And we will just, you know, skip down the hill and like happily ever after. It's not like that.
Yeah.
And thank God for social media. There's always such a stigmatism about social media, and I do find that if you look at the bright side, there's always a pro and a con. And for Instagram and social media in general, yes, there is very bad where you are doom scrolling and you're just not doing anything. You're not completing anything because you just keep watching all this stuff and your brain's melting.
Yeah.
However, the good side is that you find connection. You find people that are just like you and things that aren't actually talked about, and you learn new things. So, I do find I agree with you that we were sold that when we were young. However, because of AI and because of social media, our society has advanced way more than we expected.
So
So
true.
back then, right? So
Yeah.
that back then when we were like watching all those stuff, this was tied to like back when people were, I think I was reading this on ironically social media, um, where they were like back in the day before the whole housewife mentality came along, women were actually working because they needed women to work for the war, right? All the
Right.
men went to work or went to war, and the women ended up taking over the men's jobs or like trades and all the labor stuff. So there was a lot of marketing talking about how like, oh, women need to, do this and that. But now that the war's over, men are back to take over those jobs, and now the marketing is like the media is influencing and telling you like, okay, women, you need to be taken care of, you need to be,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I think the beauty in all that is thinking for yourself, making sure that you are aware of all these things that they're feeding you and deciding on yourself whether you think it's right and wrong.
That's an interesting point because I feel like a lot of times we're just doom scrolling or like here are friends or you see people going on family vacations and all these things and you think you
Yeah,
want those things, but you haven't really given yourself the space to even think about what you want.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
What are your thoughts on like finances being a huge issue on like why people are having kids later or choosing not to?
Yeah, that is a very big topic. It's a very big question because in the Asian household back in the day, my mom, like this is proof, like my mom has eight brothers and sisters.
Wow.
My dad has 11 brothers and sisters, and they were dirt poor back in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, when people are like, yeah, kids are so expensive, blah, blah, blah. Is it because they're expensive or is it because you just want what's the best for them? Right?
Right.
Obviously, they go hand in hand, right? Um, and I do agree with a lot of what people had to say, especially going back, referring back to that video. A lot of the comments were saying, like, hear me out. Like, if you aren't financially, like ready for yourself and you can't take care of yourself, what makes you think it's okay to bring a life into the world where they are, you guys are living by means, like you guys are just, go getting by.
Yeah.
And we obviously don't want that, right?
Right.
I grew up just getting by, and our parents only had, they like didn't have any savings and all that stuff. So I knew what it felt like growing up with nothing. So I agree with you is that if you are financially not stable and you financially cannot take care of yourself and another person, then I wouldn't recommend having them just yet.
Yeah. I totally
And of
make
course,
yeah.
because the biological clock, it's like, oh, but then you have to freeze your eggs. That's another like $20,000. Like, where are you gonna get that? Right? crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many like unexpected expenses, like once you have a kid, like diapers,
Yeah.
clothes, like dentist, medical, like there's so much that comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. And it should never be anyone's responsibility, not your parents, not AKA the grandparents. This is something that you need to be able to figure this out yourself if you decide to bring someone into this life. That's my opinion. And that's the
I
reason why I
totally
don't have
agree.
it. I'm still trying to figure myself.
Was it easy to have this conversation with like your parents about deciding not to have kids?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I've been dating my partner for 7 years now, and when we started dating, I think the first 3 years, my mom was like, "Okay, so when are you having kids? When are you having kids? You know what? Don't even bother having like a wedding. Don't even bother doing any of that stuff. Just have a couple of Chinese dinner tables and like call it a day. When are you having kids? Like that's when are you having kids?" Um, to the point where I was like, Mom, like, it sounds like you just want my kid.
Yeah.
You know? If there was very any introspective thought into that, I feel like my mother, she started working 2 weeks after giving birth to me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy to be away from your child like that. Obviously, I don't know what she was thinking. Like, she will never tell me.
Yeah.
She could have been going through postpartum depression. She could have been, didn't felt like she felt like she didn't want to leave me, but she had to because she had to work and provide for the family. Um, what was the question again?
Just about like, was it easy to have this
Oh yeah,
conversation with your parents about not wanting
right.
kids?
Yeah, so yeah, I feel like because my mom wasn't there for most of my childhood, I feel like she's trying to like make that up with my children.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to be the disciplinarian. She doesn't have to do any of that. She can just have fun. And a part of me wants to have children just for that reason.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's not a big enough reason because there's so much stress into it. I catch myself like getting frustrated with my dog, and I feel so
Oh,
guilty. So, yeah, she actually stopped talking about it. And I think a lot of her friends have like grandkids as well. Maybe that's why she kind of wanted to belong.
yeah.
Um, and now she's just like, oh, I do have grandkids. I have four grandkids, but they all have four legs. I have two dogs and my sister has two dogs. So yeah, it's really nice in a way. Yeah, in a way, I just feel like it's crazy. Like a part of me is torn with that, and then a part of me is like, she's also living her life too. She retired and she just has so much fun. She's like a kid again.
Oh,
It's like so nice to just be able to talk to her as a friend.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm very torn. I mean, obviously, if I had a conversation with her, she's like, "Don't worry about me," blah 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 and stuff. So yeah,
At
yeah,
the end of the day, she just wants you happy.
I know, and I'm really grateful that I have a parent like that because not all parents are like this.
So
So
true. Yeah. And
yeah.
is it like easy talking to your friends or even going into like social events and just having conversations like this?
Um, that's a good question. Usually, I'm really interested in like human behaviors, and I
Yeah.
do find that when one person in the friend group starts to have children, it starts trickling, like everybody starts to have kids.
Yeah.
Um, for some reason, I find that my friend group, nobody has kids.
That's awesome.
And was like, what? Like, did it skip a
Yeah.
generation? No, see, like my friend Cindy Kumar here, she doesn't have children either, and she's the same age as me.
Yeah.
So what is it? Like the year of 1991, the year of the goat. And I don't know what it is, but many of my friends don't have children. And yeah. But for my reason is that I just want to live. I've just been working really, really hard growing up, and I
Yeah.
really, really want to enjoy that. Yeah.
And how about like cultural pressure, like aunts, uncles, just being from
Yeah,
like an immigrant family? Because I hear it all the time.
yeah. So they always ask me, and the funniest thing is, I'm like, "Can you have the baby for me?" And then they're sure, right? Oh, like it could get really dark. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm trying to have children, but I can't." Like
Yeah,
you could say that so that they won't say anything. But I just kind of joke around like, can you have children for me? Or I'd be like, "Well, I'm gonna get fat, and I don't want to be fat." And then they'll be like, "Oh my God," and then they'll just roll their eyes, and then that's it. So
yeah.
I'm very lucky they don't really ask. They're always like, have one, because they kind of know out of the family. They don't really ask me anymore. But yeah, yeah,
That's awesome. I have a younger brother and his baby year and a half, and he got married after me, so I
yeah.
always hear it.
Oh my gosh, I'm not surprised. I do find that Indian culture is much more adamant on this too,
Yeah,
especially because like you're around family so much more. So I feel you, girl. I feel the pressure. I don't really have that, but I hear it all the time. So I commend you for being patient.
thank you. Yeah, and I even went to like a first birthday party, like I think it was last year, and
Mhm.
like that auntie was like, "Oh, do you know there's like IVF treatment and all these things that you can do to have a kid? Like, when did you get married and all of this?"
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, and
yeah,
a lot of people around me know it too. They see it for themselves.
yeah,
So I'm so happy right now. Like I don't want to put them, I don't want to stress myself out. I want quality life.
yeah.
Quality life.
Yeah, and I feel like that's such a, like a personal question too, because
Yeah.
maybe you don't want kids, or maybe you're having even trouble like conceiving, or maybe like there's so many like health issues, complications, miscarriages.
Yeah. They don't talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm really, going connecting back to the part about social media and how mainstream we're getting talking about children and IVF treatments and failed pregnancies. I am very proud of our generation because as millennials, we're kind of stuck in between.
yeah,
you know, Boomers are just like, yeah, I have children, blah, blah, blah. How do you work the internet? What's Facebook? All that stuff. But and then we have Gen Z's like, I don't care.
yeah.
I don't care what's going to happen in the future. I don't care about whatever, it's just about me. And then for us, we're stuck in between. Are we going to, like, are we gonna do the exact same thing as our older generation did and have kids? Or are we gonna, follow the footsteps of Gen Zs and not care? So we're that little confusing
Yeah.
generation. And I think it really leads back to um figuring it out for yourself and taking it day by day. I think a lot of people put so much pressure in trying to figure out the future. They're so stressed about what like that could potentially happen. It didn't even happen yet, and it could
Yeah,
potentially not even happen. That we aren't even focusing on the present anymore,
so
and
true.
and what's really really important, really really important.
Yeah, and I think it's just like that mental kind of checklist, like go to school, get the education, get the corporate job, get married, have
Yeah.
kids, retire, and then die.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Like, don't you want to live? Yeah, I do find that a lot of people have that social pressure. And when you remove yourself from that, it
yeah,
just becomes so freeing. It becomes so freeing. I don't know if it's because I'm just surrounded, I've just subconsciously surrounded myself with majority of the people that don't feel like they will have children in the future. Maybe that's why my
yeah,
mindset is very similar to them, birds of a feather flock together, like that whole thing.
yeah.
Or, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. And I really want to point out is the fact that how fortunate I am to be able to choose.
So true.
Because there are people out there that are dying to have a baby. They want one so bad. They want to have that mother child connection, and they would give anything to have that. And the fact that they go through failed pregnancies, failed IVF, go through the entire hormone process, and let alone the emotional trauma that you have to go through, getting let down over and over again, thinking you're in control of your body, but you are in fact not.
Yeah.
It pains me. Like, I didn't go through that, but the amount of people that are on my bed that I talk to and I get to know them, and that's one of the passions of mine with the job that I do, is that I absolutely love getting to know the people that are on my bed. And when I talk to them and I get to know them, this is the things that they tell me. It breaks my heart. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, I feel like women just put so much pressure on themselves.
they really do. They really, really do. Yeah.
Michelle, do you have any tips for our listeners? Maybe the woman listening wants to have kids but isn't ready, or she's not fully sure if she wants to.
Yeah, that's a great question. After posting a lot of topics about kids, I do get a lot of tips, for me. And one of the things that, obviously I can't speak for myself, for the, as like a person that, hasn't gone through those steps myself. However, I get a lot of people in my audience, explain to me what they've gone through and what they feel like they could have, and what they've learned from that and what they could have done better if I was going through their shoes. So one of the things is, freezing your eggs. That was always the number one thing. They're just like, don't even think twice. Go freeze your eggs like right now. And I've learned that it's not just like taking your eggs out and that was it. There's actually like a higher percentage if you use egg to embryo, to become an embryo. So you're having your partner's sperm fertilize, and then they freeze that instead. Ensuring that you had a good relationship with your parents, because you will need a lot of help. But that also doesn't mean that our parents are like it's their
Raising the child.
responsibility. Yeah. But it's definitely a conversation. The more help, the better, because yeah. And yeah, I think the one tip would probably be freezing your eggs. I didn't even get really into it yet, but I was telling myself last year that I would start looking into freezing my eggs at the beginning of this year. I still haven't yet. I think another step I would probably recommend doing, are you talking about before having children or just prepping yourself for children?
I would say both. We can talk about both.
Yeah. I do. This is my opinion alone. I would probably recommend, really figuring out your traumas, going to therapy, and really figuring out yourself emotionally. Just because if you're not emotionally there, like how are you going to be there for your children, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like that was like the one thing that if my mom had in the past, um, a lot of answers or a lot of questions would have been answered by now. So, really figuring yourself out and really answering or going to therapy, working on yourself. Working on yourself doesn't necessarily mean like, let's go shopping, let's go on a trip and stuff, but digging really, really deep and figuring out like what are your triggers, um, owning up to your stuff, owning up to your mistakes, and 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 figuring that all out before you really become a parent, because you're going to be wrong a lot, and you need to be able to say you're wrong.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
just want to add just being like more self-aware because it's like you're gonna pass that trauma on to your child as well.
absolutely. Yeah. So I think if I were to take away the three things, that would probably be getting the support, ensuring that, you have a lot of self-awareness, and freezing your eggs, getting embryos. Embryos are the highest pick, they'd say. It's the high, some people don't know that. I actually didn't know that. And
I
I
didn't
learned
either
that,
until you mentioned it now.
yeah, and I was like, oh, I just thought it was just eggs, but they're like, no, no, no. Um, let's say there's 20 eggs, only like three work. And then out of the three that work, they implant it into you, and they they say the percentage gets lower and lower every time, versus if it was an embryo,
Yeah.
it's so much higher. Yeah, and you're just paying. My friend that did this, so I have a friend that she didn't know if she wanted to adopt or biologically have children. She did both. She ended up freezing her eggs or embryos, and then she sent out the paperwork for adoption at the same time. And the adoption papers came back before the embryos did, and
Oh, wow.
she still has her embryos sitting in the vault. She pays, I think, $700 a year for them to hold on to.
Yeah.
And I think she just got recently contacted and asked if she wanted to donate the embryos. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, yeah, girl, you gotta do it for the plot.
Yeah. That's
That
awesome.
means potentially, like, people will give birth to her and her husband's children.
Yeah.
40 years later, she's gonna get a call. I just know it.
Yeah. That's so
We're gonna,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Do you have any like good recommendations of like social media accounts or any like resources someone can like look up?
Um, that at the moment, no. I wouldn't. I think as a person that's obviously leaning more towards not having children at the moment,
Yeah.
I would trust my suggestions. Uh, However, I would recommend, going on social media and like hashtagging like IVF journeys, and, figuring those out, because those are the people that really are so incredibly strong, so vulnerable. And one of the most surprising things I've learned from these people are, I was like, she said to me, the most surprising thing about my IVF journey is how easily I can get pregnant, but how hard it is to keep it.
Wow.
So my mind was blown. I know. So I was like, okay, well, I can't, I'm not at liberty to give any advice for that reason, because I am leaning more towards, not having children. But if I do, and if I do, I will most definitely talk about my journey for sure.
What do like the next 3 to 5 years look like for you?
That's a great question. I actually had this question on a different interview panel, and this was, I think, 4 years ago. And my question was like, this question was asked to me, and on the panel were four different CEOs, like strong, bad bitch women,
Yeah.
like top five companies in the world in Canada. And I'm just sitting here like, hi, I own a beauty bar. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, my top 5 years, like, get X amount of dollars, help the company get their 8-figure mark, reach their goal in Q4, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh my
Yeah.
God. I had to be real. I was like, you know what? I used to have a 5-year goal and a 5-year goals. Okay. And every time I did that, it never went that way.
Yeah.
I can't. So it was almost like a letdown. But yeah, look, I'm healing again. Um, so I don't really have a 5-year goal. I think my most important part is spending time with the people that I love,
Yeah.
being happy, and financially free, to the point where I can eat whatever I want and not look at the price tag.
Goals.
Girl, like, if I can have all three of those things,
Yeah.
it's a great day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Um, you know, again, I'm leading back to the point where we are so caught up in figuring out we're in stressing about the future. We're not focused on what we have now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have seen any of those Instagram accounts where they interview older like seniors. Yeah, and they're like, what's your biggest regret? The regret was always like, oh, I wish I had more time doing this. I wish I did more of that. In none of those things where they're like, oh, I wish I made that $100 million. I wish I bought that Corvette. Like it was never, if they did, like no judgment here. But most of the time it was always like, I wish I spent more time on the people that I loved. I wish I did the things that I loved. I wish I went to go see the things that I wanted to go see and travel to the places and experience all there has to offer in this world. So my advice to you for 5 years is to make sure that you are in control of the people of yourself and have a better relationship with the people that show up for you, because not everybody will.
Right.
And not all parents will. Okay, I've learned this. Not all parents will, and I'm very, very lucky that mine do. Not all parents will, but you will have people in your corner, and you need to make sure you treat them well. So yeah.
That's so inspiring. What has helped you be more present?
Helping me be more present.
Like enjoying the moment versus like focusing so much on the future.
Ooh, putting my phone down, and that's hard.
That's a hard one.
Girl, that is so hard. Traveling. Oh my God, traveling is amazing. Um, Traveling is amazing, and like, you know, it sounds crazy, but sometimes I like put on my calendar like spending time with parents. I'll like block off the whole day, and like
Wow.
that's what I'm doing. There's
Yeah.
really nothing that matters, and that's what I'm doing. So I think that that's really, really important. Yeah, those are the things that I most likely was. Oh, what's a really good one is the parts where like you're laughing and everyone's all around and everyone is just having a great time. I really sit there and I like snapshot the whole thing in my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna remember this day.
Yeah.
And like I take lots of photos, lots of videos because I'll go back to it and it's like watching a joke, listening to a joke for the first time again. I'll laugh the exact same way, just as loud. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I remember the day, I remember that feeling I had when I was with them. So that is a great way to be present, is just to make sure you be present.
That's such like a great idea. Because I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
times we take all these like photos and videos and we never look at them again.
Yeah. Like, yeah, sometimes I'll take photos of my matcha and stuff, right? But the best
Yeah.
ones are when like I tripped and fell, or like, oh, I remember that day that we did this one thing. Like, yeah, those days are probably the best times. So I rewatch a lot of my stuff just to kind of give myself a boost of endorphins. So, yeah.
So beautiful. And other than time blocking, is there anything additional you do? Because I know like you run like a big business, you have employees, you have so much going on.
Yeah. I try my best. I think that is one thing that I'm very, very proud of,
Yeah.
is that I'm able to try my best and give the most of my time, like schedule my time, like, hey, we're hanging out this day, let's schedule it in. Hey, we're hanging out. When are we hanging out? Let's do this. And we're always doing an activity.
Yeah.
And I think the one part that I like wish I could do more of is obviously spend more time with my dad and mom. They live 45 minutes away. Like that's nothing compared to some people who live across the country. But
Yeah.
I still find it hard to go see them, which drives me insane because like when I have time to rest, I'm like, oh, I just need a time by myself. Like
Yeah.
I just, socially I'm just clocked out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, really with the scheduling and like messaging like, hey, like I haven't seen you in a while, like how you been? And like, yeah, the calendar, if I lost my calendar, like that's it. I'm free the whole day. There's really nothing I can do.
It sounds like you have like good boundaries with like your business and your personal life.
Yeah, I try. I try. It's hard. Sometimes obviously like it doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
But I think the key word is just trying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's another thing women struggle with, especially like women entrepreneurs with like being all in on their business and feeling like they can either be a mom or run like a successful business.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. And like I'm struggling. I'm
Yeah.
struggling to do that and I don't even have children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be there for my children if I do have any. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have kids right now. Yeah.
Well, that answers everything I had. Did you have anything additional to add, Michelle?
No, but just a reminder for everyone that is really beating themselves up for trying to figure it all out. You need to give yourself some grace. It's easier, obviously easier said than done. It's easy for me to tell you that.
Yeah.
Uh, it's hard because I'll tell someone, I'm like, yeah, no big deal. But then for me, it's hard. So I get it. But you have to show up every day for yourself, no one else but you. Because if you are taking care of yourself, you are essentially taking care of the people around you because you will have space, mind, you're going to be present for them, and you're going to have energy for them. So always take care of yourself first, and that is the entire mantra of Meraki Beauty Bar is look good and feel good, on the inside, on the outside, and it really starts with you.
That's such great advice.
Yeah.
What is the best way for our audience to connect with you?
Instagram. I try my best to answer all my DMs, or just come have a chat at the shop. I love talking to people that resonate on any of the pieces that I post, or just I love connecting. So yeah, Instagram.
I'll share all your details in the show notes. Thanks again, Michelle.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
If you're a founder who wants real strategy, not noise, and you want someone in your corner helping you build a business that feels aligned, is profitable, and actually supports your life, you can apply for CFO on Call. This is my one-on-one financial partnership for established founders, typically making between $500K to $2 million, who want clarity, who want structure and confidence with their numbers. The link is in the show notes so you can schedule a profit strategy call, or you can DM me CFO on Instagram at @CindyKamar and I'll send over all the details.